I don't want to be a manager. I want to be a leader. I want to lead them to think outside the box.
What are those things that differentiate between a manager and a leader?
I think leading is you're leading your team to think creatively, to think openly, to step out of their comfort zone and know that they can fall back on you versus a manager who's just managing their workload, who's just kind of bossing them around.
You started out as a receptionist. What are some of the more interesting roles you've been in? What has kept you sucked into the industry?
Every position I've been, I've had good team members and good leaders who've either recognized my strengths or who have guided me through it. And so I've always felt this family mentality here. Like I didn't want to leave because I wanted to continue to watch it grow and be part of that growth.
People are what's going to make Viking Power Technologies the #1 power section company in the world. All right, welcome to the Viking Roundtable. I have a very special guest with me today. She's the initial victim, I suppose. But Kaylee, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself? Tell everybody what you do at Viking, and we'll get started.
All right. Well, I'm Kaylee. I am the inside sales and manufacturing support manager. So I'm basically the glue between outside sales and production.
Awesome.
Keep everything together.
Awesome. I think you said that perfectly. The glue that keeps everything together, kind of the hub of the wheel. So let's. This is very off the cuff. Usually, I don't have any notes. You know, this is my first time as the interviewer. I've been interviewed before, but so we're just going to kind of wing it and see what happens. But really, the whole idea behind this is I think you and I have talked, and our team has talked a lot, that the most important part about Viking is the people. So we want to really highlight some of the special people that work here and let people know kind of a look behind the curtain of what makes Viking special. And so couldn't think of a better person to start off the podcast with than you. So why don't you just give us a little background, you know, where you from, kind of how you got in the oil field, how long you've been doing this type of work?
Yeah, I'm from Houston, Texas. Graduated U of H, and it was not too long after I graduated that I got a phone call that Prime Downhole Manufacturing was looking for a receptionist. I had some family members that were in the oil field that I kind of knew my name, kind of knew me, and felt like I'd be a perfect fit. And so that was late 2017, but I guess you could say I really hit the road running when 2018, when I moved from the receptionist into an actual manufacturing support position.
Mm-hmm.
That was basically cutting work orders, creating routers, basically just keeping Prime running.
Yeah. So did you go to U of H for machining work or?
I did not. I went for a psychology degree.
Yeah.
When I graduated with my bachelor's in science with psychology, I immediately wanted to get into real estate. And I was going to school and doing the real estate classes. And then I landed this job and kind of got sucked in and just became a part of my life.
Yeah, the oil field tends to do that.
I never left.
That's right. That's right. People ask me that all the time. I'm like, I don't know how I got started in this. Knew a guy that knew a guy, right?
Yeah.
But you talk about, you know, you started out as a receptionist and then you started cutting work orders and routers, and there really hasn't been much at, you know, from the Prime days to now the Viking days. You transitioned. I remember when you and I had the conversation about you moving over to the Viking side, for so to speak. What are some of the more interesting roles you've been in? Kind of what has kept you sucked into the industry?
Yeah, I think the challenge is I find that I thrive on stress, on chaos, and I think being tossed things and being able to find solutions and help a company keep running and going, it kind of just sucked me in. And like every position I've been, I've had good team members and good leaders who've either recognized my strengths or who have guided me through it. And so I've always felt this family mentality here. Like I didn't want to leave because I wanted to continue to watch it grow and be part of that growth. Mm-hmm. Help me succeed.
Yeah, and you've seen quite a bit of evolution,
Yep.
You know, from the Prime days, and then, you know, Viking becoming a DBA of Prime, and now Viking standing on its own. You know, throughout that time, what has been some of the highs and the lows?
Oh yeah, I think some of the highs and the lows would be just being able to take what I learned from Prime and all my knowledge there and be able to apply it to Viking. the product's different, but being able to take what I learned and my knowledges and my skills and be able to make it work for Viking. And then now getting used to a different group of people and having to get them to trust my knowledge and my experience and understand that, like, I've operated in the system for almost 8 years now. So I know how everything runs through the system, how I went from the manufacturing, machine parts to like now rotors and stators and like, being able to get knowledge from them to help me kind of piece everything together, I think was probably the most challenging. The highs are just, having a good group of people to work with and those to support, when you do have those challenging roads to help you kind of get down them and overcome them.
Yeah, yeah. So now that you are in a management role and you're not only responsible for Kaylee, but you have a team, what have been some of the challenges with that?
Yeah, definitely teaching my team my knowledge and being able to lead them to be successful and being able to find their strengths and highlight their strengths and then be able to find their weaknesses and help them overcome that. That's been a little bit of a challenge, but also me giving up control is probably one of the biggest. What
do we call that? Stop Kayleeing?
Yeah, stop Kayleeing.
Yeah, right.
Being able to like actually take the time to stop Kayleeing and teach my team how to find these answers, how to like where's the best places in the system to go find these, the questions to ask, how to ask them, who to ask them, and teach my team how to be confident in the work that they deliver. That's probably been a huge challenge.
And I don't want to speak for you on this, but I do have to highlight you. There was a situation earlier this week where we were on a text thread and I asked your team a question, and I'm trying to do a better job of asking your team instead of just you. But I asked your team a question and there wasn't a direct yes, but there was options given to that. And for me, that was a light bulb moment for the team. Yeah. Because that is who we are, right? Yep. And that's what inside sales and that's what operation support has to be. And it's a separator, it's a differentiator. So I just thought that was a great reflection of where your team has come, but also your leadership to get them to that point. Because I think probably one of the more defining things throughout your career here has been there's never a no. It's just maybe not right now, but we're going to find a solution. Yeah. Yeah. So talk about that a little bit and how you've transferred that mentality to your team members. And
yeah, absolutely. Like you said, we don't want to give no answers. We want to be creative with our solutions. So we're trying to stand out as a power section company ourselves. So my team has to stand out and we have to be able to give creative solutions. And as I don't want to be a manager. I want to be a leader. I want to lead them to think outside the box. And so, I was able to a couple of weeks ago sit down and kind of give them some tools to be able to do that. And I was really proud of my employee who kind of stepped out of her comfort zone and was like, hey, here's your options.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it was great. So let me ask, and we'll get to the deep question here. Well, you said it, you don't want to be a manager, you want to be a leader. What are those things that differentiate between a manager and a leader?
I think leading is you're leading your team to think creatively, to think openly, to step out of their comfort zone and know that they can fall back on you to help pick them up and kind of lead them in the right direction versus a manager who's just managing their workload, who's just kind of bossing them around, telling them, you do this, you do that, or, maybe micromanaging, kind of stepping on their toes. And I like to back off and allow my team to answer, to step in. And when they need my support, then they can come to me and say, hey, I don't know how to answer this, or hey, I don't know how to tackle this challenge head on, give me some advice, and me be able to help them and tell them how I would do it. But at the end of the day, I want them to be comfortable in how they're delivering it.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's almost the difference between ordering someone and empowering someone.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, those are it's a fine distinction. But it is definitely a distinction, yes. Right? And a lot of times in the fast-paced moving of oil and gas and power sections in general, in particular, the fast answer is you want to give them the answer because you know the answer right away. But that ability to empower others to figure out, not only do I have the capability, but I have the wherewithal. I have that's a huge part about leadership, right? And one of the things that you and I talked about when you were stepping into this role is really, you've always got to be training your replacement. Mm-hmm. Which sounds very counterintuitive, right? It sounds very counterintuitive, but it's something that you've really embraced, and I really appreciate about what you've done, and that's why your team is growing because you embracing that. So let's get on to maybe a little bit more about Kaylee. I know that that throughout your time you've been a rock star here, you've been a constant here, but it hasn't come without its own challenges. I think it's important that people understand a little bit behind Kaylee and some of the challenges that you've overcome and that you continue to deal with, because there might be somebody that listens. Look, if there's 5 people listening to this and you can touch one of them, then this whole thing is worth it, right?
Yeah.
And so talk to me about some of the stuff that you've been through that you've overcome and that you're continuing to.
So my personal life.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Well, 2019. So this is a year into me being at Prime and having my manufacturing support position, right? And I was literally the only person holding down the fort here. 2019, I flooded twice. So I'm trying to take care of that, but also work at the same time because I didn't want to let my company down. And then in 2020, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. February, I had surgery, had my thyroid removed, and then halfway between the year, discovered that there were still some nodules there that were, not looking too good. Then I ended up going to MD Anderson where they did a more invasive surgery. And from there, it's been just visits with MD Anderson. I had 1 round of radioactive iodine treatment. Nothing, too bad. It wasn't aggressive. But it's just, I went from a battle for each month for like 4 years straight. And so far, everything's looking good. They dropped me down to going yearly to MD Anderson, which is always a good sign. So they're not seeing anything that's concerning or, everything's kind of slowed down, and hopefully within the next couple of years, they just don't see anything that they are concerned about at all. So, but yeah, it's been challenging because in the time frame that I was out for surgery, I think my first surgery, I got out and immediately came to work and grabbed my laptop and was working from home. And then somewhere in between there, I got COVID and wasn't allowed to come back in, but I was working from the house. Mm-hmm. So it was definitely challenging. Life was just throwing me curveballs, but you got to overcome them.
Yeah, and you've always been such a positive influence around the office and to your coworkers, and that's not something that I knew about until a couple years of being a coworker with you. Mm-hmm. And so it's just incredible the spirit that you have and the positivity you have with all of it, and how you've just continued to battle through it. Talk about how those type of life experiences, does that inform your work at all? Does it change who you are? Has it?
I think it changes who you are whether you want it to or not. I will say I got a compliment from a coworker one time who said every time he walked into my office, I always put a smile on his face, and it was always just a good energy when he walked in, and I've always kind of took that to my heart and was like, I want that. I want someone to walk in and meet me and they just feel like a beam of light or sunshine, or like they're happy, even if it's for 5 seconds. Yeah. I'm not going to let the challenges that I was facing in my personal life affect me. Obviously, I'm not perfect, so there's times where you're like, what is happening? Right. But you just got to keep going. And I think you take those life lessons, and you apply them into work. Not every day is it going to be joyful at work. You're going to have stressful days. The morale might go down for a little bit, but keep pushing through and keep being a ball of sunshine, because that's more, that spreads. Mm-hmm. And when your light starts shining onto other people and you're building them up, then they're going to start shedding on other people and lighting them up. And then it just, before you know it, everybody's just a walking ball of sunshine. Yeah, it's
a snowball effect. Yes, right? Yes. And all that positivity plus a good cup of coffee every time you go to your office.
Always, always.
Talk to me about that. What do you got?
So I have my own coffee company. It's just something I do on the side. We're partnered with a small batch roaster, and I don't like the K-cups. So I bought a little coffee pot and have my own coffee brewing in my office, and it just smells really good. It smells up the whole office, and Nick likes it. Nick likes to come in. And
she spoiled us with the coffee for sure.
I did. Mondays, I know to have a full cup of coffee or full pot of coffee, because you drink it. Some of the other sales reps drink it. The guys in the office like it. Yep. Yeah, I like to be able to bring a good cup of coffee, get your day going.
No, it's great. It's great. No, and that's, And I think you do that with your family, right? Is that?
Yeah, my mom and I are
That's
partners.
awesome. Yeah, that's a really cool thing that able to kind of interweave in the company
Yep.
and
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and do and still be proud of. But I think that's an awesome thing. So, well, now that we're kind of here and we are Viking and there's Prime no longer exists and we are fully concentrated, we're fully set on go, foot to the gas as far as Viking Power Technologies. What do you see for the future? What do you see, what excites you, what gets you out of bed in the morning and gets you excited to come to work?
I think just being able to lead my team to be little me's actually makes me excited to get up. I want them to come to work and feel prideful, but there's so much in the future for Viking, and it makes me excited because we have such a good team, and I want my team to be like, heck yeah, them inside sales girls get it done, or like the manufacturing support, my purchasing ladies, like they know what they're doing. They're knowledgeable. They know their vendors. I want my team to be part of the growth because there's so much future for Viking. We have good people on our team, and I'm excited to be part of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great, and it's evident in the meetings that we have with the managing team, the management team. It's evident in the work that you're getting done with a small group. Really, I mean, for what they do, you have a small group, but continuing to grow them and continue to empower them and allow them to grow to their potential is what's going to continue to grow Viking, but grow the inside sales team as the hub of what we do. So that's awesome. Kind of as one last thing that I want to start doing in these podcasts, and you see these videos, but what I'd like you to do is you got that camera in the world, whether it's 5 people or it's 5,000. If you had the opportunity, which you now do, to give one piece of advice, what do you think that would be?
Oh, why would you put me on the spot
I'm
like
putting
that?
you on the spot. I told you unscripted, but
just keep going. Just keep pushing on. And when life, throws you curveballs or you get knocked down, you just got to get up, put on a smile, have a good attitude, and just keep going.
That's outstanding. That's great advice for life. That's great advice for Viking. That's great advice for oilfield. Look, Viking Roundtable is all about humanizing the Viking Power Technologies team, some of our vendors, some of our customers. We hope to expand this thing to many different avenues and show you a little bit more about Viking Power Technologies. Kaylee was the perfect person to have on as our first guest because as one of our longest tenured employees, she's seen a lot. And I hope that you can understand the energy that she has and the passion she has for doing a great job. And again, people are what's going to make Viking Power Technologies the #1 power section company in the world. And we're well on our way. So thanks. See you again soon.